The automotive world is once again paying attention to a story that feels almost unbelievable, but it is very real. A man known as Mark McCann has just made a move that shocked car fans everywhere. He bought a broken Bugatti Veyron, one of the most expensive and powerful cars ever made, but this one was not in normal condition. It was not ready to drive, it was not in perfect shape, and it was not sitting in a showroom shining under lights. Instead, it was broken, sitting still, and waiting for someone to decide its fate. The price alone was enough to grab attention. Mark McCann reportedly paid around £900,000 to £1.1 million for this car, even though it could not even move under its own power. For most people, this sounds like a huge risk because spending that much money on something that is not working feels like a gamble. But for Mark, this was not just about buying a broken car. It was about opportunity, rarity, and the challenge of bringing something special back to life. The car itself is not just any Bugatti Veyron either. It is a Mansory Vincero edition, a highly modified and extremely rare version of an already rare hypercar. This version was originally customized with expensive materials like exposed carbon fiber, polished metal parts, and a completely unique interior design that makes it stand out from every other Veyron in the world. It was once a symbol of extreme wealth and luxury, reportedly built for a high-profile owner in the Middle East with an added customization cost of around €300,000 on top of the base price. When it was working properly, this car was worth around £1.6 million, or more depending on condition and market demand. But now, everything has changed. The gearbox is broken, the car has been sitting unused for about 3 years, and it cannot even go into reverse gear. This means that even though it looks like a masterpiece of engineering and luxury, it is currently just a very expensive object that cannot perform its basic function, which is driving. This situation creates a strange contrast. On one side, you have one of the most powerful and iconic hypercars ever built. On the other side, you have a machine that is completely useless in its current condition. That contrast is what makes this story so interesting for viewers and car enthusiasts. Because it raises a question that many people are now asking. What do you do when something this valuable breaks down so badly that even fixing it becomes a massive financial decision? As the story continues, the situation becomes even more complicated. The problem with the car is not just small damage or minor repairs. The main issue is the gearbox, which is one of the most important and expensive parts of the entire vehicle. Without it working properly, the car cannot move at all. Bugatti itself has reportedly given a repair estimate of around £300,000 just to replace or fix this gearbox system. That alone is more than what many people pay for an entire house in some parts of the world. This immediately changes the way people look at the car. It is no longer just a luxury purchase. It becomes a financial puzzle. Is it worth spending hundreds of thousands more just to bring it back to life? Or is it better to leave it as a broken piece of automotive history? This is where the story starts to shift from a simple car purchase into something much bigger. Because Mark McCann did something unexpected after buying it. Instead of immediately going to Bugatti's official service network, authorized repair centers, or factory-approved specialists, he made a different choice. He decided to call someone outside the official system. That person was Mat Armstrong. This decision is what turned a normal hypercar repair story into a controversial topic in the automotive world. Mat Armstrong is known on YouTube as a self-taught car builder who takes on extremely difficult rebuild projects, often fixing damaged or written-off cars in his own workshop. But he is not a factory-trained Bugatti technician, and he does not represent the official Bugatti service network. That alone makes his involvement surprising. It also creates tension in the story because Bugatti is known for being extremely strict about how its cars are repaired and who is allowed to repair them. So when a broken Veyron ends up being discussed with an independent YouTuber instead of a certified Bugatti technician, it naturally raises questions. Not just about this one car, but about the entire future of hypercar ownership. Because if a nearly £1 million broken Bugatti can be discussed outside the official system, then what does that mean for the future of expensive cars like this? Are independent builders becoming more important than official manufacturers in certain cases? Or is this just a rare situation that should not be taken as a trend? These are the questions now surrounding this car, and they set the stage for everything that happens next in this unfolding story. As the situation around the broken Bugatti Veyron continues to develop, the story quickly shifts away from just a damaged hypercar and turns into something much bigger, almost like a clash between two different worlds. On one side, there is Bugatti, one of the most respected and controlled hypercar manufacturers in the world, known for precision engineering, strict service rules, and extremely expensive repair systems that are meant to keep every car at factory-level condition. On the other side, there is the growing world of independent car builders and YouTubers, people who are not officially trained by the manufacturers but have built strong reputations by restoring, rebuilding, and reviving cars that most people would consider impossible to fix. At the center of this situation stands Mat Armstrong, a well-known automotive content creator who has made a name for himself by taking on extremely difficult rebuild projects. What makes this situation so unusual is not just that a Bugatti is broken, but that the owner of this particular Veyron chose to call Mat Armstrong before contacting Bugatti's official service network. This single decision changes the entire meaning of the story. It suggests a shift in trust, where experience gained through real-world rebuilding may now be valued just as much as factory authorization. The car itself is still sitting broken, with a major gearbox failure that prevents it from driving, but now the attention is not only on the mechanical issue. It is also on who should be allowed to fix such a complex and expensive machine. This is where the controversy begins to grow, because Bugatti is not a brand that usually supports independent repair work. Their systems are designed in a way that encourages owners to rely only on official technicians, using original parts, special tools, and controlled service environments. So when news spreads that a Bugatti owner is discussing repair options with someone outside that system, it naturally raises concern within the industry. For many enthusiasts, however, this is not seen as a problem. Instead, it is seen as progress. They argue that skilled independent builders like Mat Armstrong are proving that modern car repair is no longer limited to official workshops. With enough knowledge, tools, and experience, even extremely complex vehicles like a Bugatti can be understood and potentially repaired outside the factory system. This creates a very interesting debate. Is Bugatti protecting quality and safety by controlling repairs? Or are they limiting innovation and accessibility by keeping repairs inside a closed system? The broken Veyron becomes more than just a car at this point. It becomes a symbol of this debate. When Mark McCann contacts Mat Armstrong, the conversation reportedly focuses on understanding the scale of the problem rather than making immediate promises. The gearbox issue alone is already a major challenge. In a car like the Bugatti Veyron, the gearbox is not a simple component that can be replaced easily like in a regular vehicle. It is a highly complex, precision-engineered system designed to handle extreme power and speed. This is why Bugatti's official repair estimate is so high, with reports suggesting around £300,000 just to fix or replace the gearbox system. That number alone immediately puts pressure on any decision-making process. At this level, every repair choice becomes a financial calculation, not just a mechanical one. This is also where Mat Armstrong's approach becomes important in the story. Instead of immediately rejecting the idea or saying the job is impossible, he begins analyzing it like a project. He looks at possible solutions, considers sourcing options, and thinks about how the repair might be approached step by step. This is a very different mindset compared to an official dealership, where the solution is usually straightforward: replace with factory parts and follow strict procedure. In the independent world, however, the approach is often more flexible, more creative, and sometimes more experimental. This is what makes the situation both exciting and controversial. Because while creativity can reduce costs and bring broken cars back to life, it also raises questions about risk, reliability, and long-term performance. During discussions, what surprises many people is not just the technical conversation, but the fact that someone outside Bugatti's official network is even being considered for advice on such a high-value vehicle. This is where the emotional and symbolic weight of the story grows. It is not just about fixing a gearbox anymore. It is about whether the future of hypercar repair could slowly move away from official manufacturers and toward independent experts who operate through experience rather than certification. This idea is what makes the situation so closely watched by car enthusiasts and industry professionals alike. It challenges long-standing beliefs about who is qualified to work on the world's most advanced cars and whether those boundaries are still relevant in today's world of digital learning, online communities, and self-taught engineering talent. The broken Bugatti Veyron, once just an expensive damaged car, is now at the center of a much larger conversation that goes far beyond the garage where it sits. As this unusual situation continues to spread through the automotive world, attention naturally shifts toward Bugatti itself and how a company of this level views what is happening. Bugatti is not just any car manufacturer. It is one of the most controlled, high-precision hypercar brands in the world, where every detail of repair, maintenance, and servicing is designed to protect performance, safety, and long-term value. Because of this, the idea of one of their most iconic cars, the Veyron, being discussed for repair outside their official system creates an uncomfortable topic for the brand. Even if Bugatti does not directly respond to every independent repair discussion, the situation still represents something important for them. It raises questions about control, expertise, and the future of how their vehicles are maintained once they leave the factory. In the past, luxury and hypercar manufacturers had almost complete control over repairs because the tools, knowledge, and systems were locked inside official service centers. But in today's world, that control is becoming harder to maintain. With platforms like YouTube, experienced independent builders are now sharing detailed rebuild processes publicly, allowing millions of viewers to see how complex cars are taken apart and rebuilt outside factory conditions. This is where the situation with Mark McCann's broken Veyron becomes more than just a single repair case. It becomes part of a larger shift happening in the automotive industry. The fact that someone like Mat Armstrong is even part of the conversation shows that trust is no longer limited strictly to manufacturer networks. Instead, trust is increasingly being built through real-world results that people can see online. If an independent builder successfully repairs high-end vehicles repeatedly, then audiences begin to question whether official systems are always necessary for every type of repair. This does not mean manufacturers lose importance, but it does mean their monopoly over knowledge is weakening in certain areas. And that is exactly why this story attracts so much attention. At the same time, the financial side of this situation cannot be ignored. The Bugatti Veyron in question is not just a broken car, it is an extremely valuable asset with a complicated repair cost structure. A gearbox repair alone being estimated around £300,000 shows how expensive ownership becomes when something goes wrong. For many people, this raises a serious question about the practicality of owning hypercars like this in the real world. These vehicles are often seen as symbols of success, wealth, and engineering excellence, but they also come with maintenance costs that can exceed the price of luxury homes. This creates a divide between the image of hypercars and the reality of keeping them operational. When a car worth over £1 million becomes immobilized due to a single major component failure, it highlights how fragile even the most advanced machines can be when exposed to real-world usage, age, and neglect. The fact that the car has been sitting unused for around 3 years only adds to the complexity, because long-term inactivity often creates additional mechanical issues beyond the original failure. In this case, the broken gearbox is only the most obvious problem. There may be other hidden issues that only become visible once repair work begins. This uncertainty is another reason why owners sometimes hesitate before committing to official repair routes, especially when costs escalate so quickly. In contrast, independent builders often approach such projects with a different mindset, focusing on problem-solving and adaptability rather than strict procedural replacement. This difference in approach is what fuels the ongoing debate in the automotive community. Looking at the bigger picture, the story of this broken Bugatti Veyron and its connection to Mat Armstrong represents a turning point in how people view car repair knowledge and authority. It is no longer just about who has official permission to fix a car, but also about who has proven ability to solve complex problems in real conditions. The rise of independent automotive content creators has changed how knowledge spreads, and it has also changed how trust is formed. People now watch entire rebuilds online, step by step, and they begin to understand that modern engineering is not always as unreachable as it once seemed. This does not remove the importance of manufacturers like Bugatti, but It does challenge their exclusive position in the repair ecosystem. For viewers and enthusiasts, this situation is exciting because it feels like a shift in power. For manufacturers, it may feel more concerning because it introduces uncertainty into a system that was once fully controlled. In the end, what makes this story so compelling is not just the broken car, but what it represents. It represents a world where knowledge is more open, repair skills are more visible, and the line between official expertise and independent experience is becoming less clear. Whether the Bugatti Veyron is eventually repaired by official channels or through independent effort, the impact of this situation will likely continue beyond this single car. It will influence conversations about hypercar ownership, repair freedom, and the growing influence of independent builders in a field that was once completely dominated by manufacturers. As the situation develops further, the story takes a surprising turn that shifts everything into a new direction. Instead of following the expected path of contacting Bugatti's official service centers, certified technicians, or manufacturer-approved repair facilities, a different decision is made. After purchasing the broken Veyron, Mark McCann does not immediately rely on the traditional repair system that most hypercar owners would normally use. Instead, the first major conversation about the